Today on This Old House, you might think that siding is the only thing that keeps your house dry, but there's actually a layer behind it that does that job even better.
Before we started installing the roofing, we had to make sure that this drip edge didn't hide the detail of this molding.
I'll take a trip to a local stained glass studio where they're building a window our homeowner designs. That's it. Hey there, I'm Kevin O'Connor and welcome back to This Old House, into our project here in Glen Ridge, where you can see a lot of developments on the outside and progress. So we've got the WRB up all over the entire facade, which is why our house is blue. We got windows going in and trim as well. But first, Kalen.
What's going on, Kevin? How are you?
Social media is blowing up, man.
Yeah, I'm everywhere. It's crazy, right?
What'd you do? You made some kind of storage?
Yeah, I built the underseat storage box for my truck. So
How many views?
I think we're over 75 million.
That's crazy.
Incredible, right?
So let me see it. How's it work?
Open the door. It's right up under the seat. Just pulls right out.
All right.
It's got all my essentials that I use. Keeps it hidden, discreet.
Gosh, look at that, huh? You got a curved drawer right there. You
Yes,
got all
sir.
the foam marked out, and that thing just tucks away.
Yep, right away.
So you gonna make us some?
Yeah, that's the plan. So hopefully I can get this to everybody that wants it. So
Good deal. Keep it up, man. All right, good seeing you.
yeah, it's good to see you as well.
Anyway, like I said, lots of progress on the outside. So as you wrap around here, you'll notice all of the windows are in. You may recall that these are wooden windows across the entire house. And then if you look up top, you can see some of the trim detail going in. There is a beadboard cove right there. Zach and his guys are replicating that. On the inside, so you come in through the back door, you got a little mudroom right in this area right here, which you will then step through. And the first thing you're going to see is a little wet bar right here. We are framed out for a sink. And then as you come in through here, hey Matt, how you doing?
Well, how are you, Kevin?
All right, so I know Zach is very keen on making sure the house is as airtight as possible.
Yes.
You were taking an extra step here with the switches and the boxes?
Correct. So this is a vapor barrier box, and it has a flange on the outside here with a gasket on the face.
Oh, so when you put the board up to that, you get compression around that gasket?
Correct.
Very nice.
Where the wires enters, we have V-clamps on the inside and then an additional gasket right on top.
So if the wire pokes through there, it's going to grab around and seal that too?
Correct.
So if we do get any air in the cavities, we're not going to get it coming through the switches, which is
Correct.
typically a weak point for air sealing.
Yes.
Very nice. And can you help me out with this here, question mark? What's the extra width?
So we've moved enough boxes to know that if we leave some wire on the rough, we have flexibility to move it over, about a bay or two.
Give yourself a little extra room.
Yes.
That's smart. I like it. All right, good deal.
Sure.
Nobody's missing a trick here at all. So in this corner right here, there's going to be a little banquette, a little breakfast nook, which is attached to the kitchen. And the very first thing you'll see in the kitchen is a peninsula coming off this wall right here. And then this space, which opens up to the outside, is going to be kitchen and roughly the layout. Obviously, big window here, so you've got sink in the middle. You've got a dishwasher right there. You've got a range set up right here. I believe it is induction. And on the other side, we've got freezer and refrigeration and a little wine fridge, which I think goes right there because they love their wine. It's part of the dining room, which is this big room right here that looks out front. And Asha, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, nice to see you. You are on the sidelight committee, right?
Yes.
So there was something here originally.
Yeah, so there was a side light always here, but it was covered up. So I actually designed what's gonna go here, went through lots of sketches and iterations, and this is where we landed. We did wanna kind of have a fusion of Eastern and Western elements, so that was really what was behind this. We do have some Indian culture in our family, so we wanted to incorporate the lotus flower. We did have to simplify it a little bit for this vertical space because we did want to make it symmetrical.
And the symmetry is a little bit of the Victorian.
Yeah, symmetry. There are a lot of floral elements in Victorian design too.
Yep. May I?
Sure.
The beautiful drawings. You can almost sort of picture it right there in the opening. I love it. If you design, who makes? Are you gonna build it or?
No, I won't, but there is a local place that is going to make it for us.
Gotcha.
So.
So no way for us to save the original because that's gone, so it's replicate. But in case of the door, guys, it is save the original, right? Because we're going to use that door. But now you got to get the opening proper.
Save the door, but you got to make a new jamb and a new threshold, and that's what we're working on right now.
Gotcha. All right. Well, that's a little bit of work. You got your hands full there. Zach, all I can tell you, my advice, listen and don't talk back because he gets ornery quick.
Maybe you should start listening.
Like I said. Asha, a lot of progress upstairs?
Yeah,
Can you
lots.
show me that?
Sure.
All right, here's the prototype of the threshold that we have to build.
Looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that goes in the opening this way.
Yeah.
And if we turn it this way, it's a good way to see the anatomy of it. Our hardwood floor that we're putting on the first floor is going to be let into this little rabbet here.
Right.
This is the inside, and it's got a chamfer, which is this angled, so you don't stub your toe going out the door.
Yep.
The door sits on this flat spot. Then there's another little rabbet there, which is going to keep water from working its way uphill with surface tension and running under the door. There's a nice 5-degree pitch. And then at the front, it's rounded over, and this horn sticks out so that that casing can come and land right on top next to the opening.
Right, and we want to make sure that this horn is much longer than the width of the size of the casing that we're going to use, because you always want to make sure that the horn protrudes past the edge of whatever size casing we're going to use.
Right.
So we have to make sure we make those longer. But now we're ready to make it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay. So the first thing we want to do is we want to drop the height of the blade, pitch it so we can make chamfers right here. Now that we've cut that, we're ready to cut the rabbet for the finished floor to go into.
All right.
All right, now we're going to cut the pitch. Now we have to finish off the taper with a hand plane.
Oh, I go one more pass with this, right?
Yeah. All right, that looks pretty good. Now let's just do the kerf cuts underneath. Now what we need to do is cut for the width of the door and also allow for the horns. All right, from the center line, we want 17 and 7/8 in one direction and 17 and 7/8 the other direction. And so that's the width of our threshold for the door.
All right, so what we're gonna do here is put this tape on the bottom, and it's gonna keep moisture from wicking up into the bottom of this threshold over the years.
That's a good idea. All right, ready? Stand it up.
All right, here it comes.
Slide it in the opening. See how it fits. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now we gotta fine tune it, make sure the door will fit, and hang it.
All right, let's do it. How's it look?
Look like a door.
Zach, you got Matt sealing up all of your outlet boxes and covers. I noticed that the entire house is wrapped in blue.
It is.
Definitely trying to seal this place up, huh?
Yeah, so like, look at this wall, right? We have this sheathing, and it used to be tight, but it's since shrunk, and we have gaps. And then there's these holes where they blew in insulation, and then thousands of nails. So this house is basically a sieve, right? And although we're putting siding on the outside to keep water out, there's a lot of holes in the siding, and there's a lot of nails going through the siding. So what we want is this water-resistive barrier that's continuous on the exterior of the house, and you can actually feel it sticky, and it's adhered and rolled on to the outside of this to make this a watertight home.
Yeah, I mean, I threw around WRB, but I mean, that's what it is, right? That's the water-resistant barrier that you're talking about, because even after you put the siding on, you're still making penetrations, right? You still have to protect against the wind and the water.
Exactly, and this has the benefit of being water resistive even when a nail is puncturing through it.
Right.
And it's also going to have a gasketing effect, so it's going to have the value out of keeping it airtight, meaning this house will be more comfortable because cold air won't be coming through all those nail holes.
And so you're pretty convinced that this is a big step up from what we've used in the past?
It definitely is, and I've actually got a demonstration to show you that.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Wizard. Very fancy.
Pretty cool, hon. We have a little experiment here. So basically, we've got 4 different barriers that you might use on the outside of a house, right? And basically, we've got a column of water pushing down on that barrier, and that represents rain that is wind-driven or rain that's trapped behind the siding and wants to get through. So the first type is felt paper, And that's basically just asphalt impregnated builder's paper.
That was on the house originally.
That was, exactly.
That goes way back.
That's version 1. And then, you know, in the early 80s, late 70s, they came up with house wrap, which is just a woven plastic, which is easier to install, more durable than the felt paper. And then we have an impregnated panel. This we used on the addition at this project. And basically the barrier is painted or applied onto the sheathing we're already using, so it saves us a trip around the house. And then finally we have what we used on the old work, which is that self-applied membrane, and that's stuck onto the outside.
The point being that all of these membranes are going to be penetrated, sort of by
Exactly.
design. And the question is when they're penetrated, how are they going to handle the water and air management?
Exactly. We're going to put probably thousands of nails and screws through this house as we apply the exterior trim. And how is it going to handle that when we put some water in it?
I'm excited.
All right, let's find out. I'm going to start with the felt paper. Yeah, you can see it seeping out from under the paper, through the nail hole, leaking out.
That took about 2 seconds. We're going to have a mess on our hands soon. Let's keep going. Let's do house wrap.
All right.
Oh, yep, there it is too. Not quite as fast, but 5 seconds instead of 2.
Still coming out.
It's still coming out.
All right, let's fill up this one.
This is our impregnated panel. Nothing yet. So far, we're longer than the previous 2.
Let's put water in the final one, the self-adhered membrane.
Good so far.
So far, so good. And we want to, you look under the membrane, under here is where we'll expect to see water, and I don't see anything coming out there right now.
So we end up with basically failure on the first 2, but we have a victory here. This is what you're using on the addition, so this is a good choice. And we have victory here, and this is what you're using on the existing house, so that's also a good choice.
Yeah, it's much easier to install these correctly than it is to install these correctly. There's a lot less detailing and they're more durable once installed, they're harder to tear, etc. So not only are they going to be better at water now, but 20 years from now, they're still going to be more effective.
And how effective is it against air?
It's substantially more effective. These are getting lapped over each other and detailed with tape. The boards get detailed with tape and liquid flashing. So these are very effective in keeping the house nice and airtight.
Yeah, well, seeing is believing, so nice experiment.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome.
All right, we're almost ready to start installing the roof shingles on the roof. Now to prep for that, we had to install this molding up the rake. It's a ram's head detail right there. The problem with this molding is once we install the drip edge on top of it and you look at the molding detail disappears. So we modified it. Rip the strip down, we'll glue that on the top and put it on there. Now we still be able to see that ram's head from below. So now we have that piece on the gable that goes up, and we had to return it on itself here at the lower edge where it meets the fascia board. Now across the front, we ripped this filler down to match the pitch of the roof. That's there for 2 reasons. Number 1, so that we keep the drip edge out beyond the edge of the roof about 1.5 inches to 1.75 inches. And also, we have it narrow enough so that it doesn't come down and hit the drip edge like that and touch the drip edge. We want that to have a gap so that when the water falls off, it runs down, and because there's nothing here for the water droplets to grab to, it will fall down straight into the gutter. But the other reason we did it is the sun will actually break down this self-sealing membrane right here. So we want to make sure that we cover it. All right, Kaylin, we gotta just cut the angle on the bottom here to match the pitch of the roof.
Okay.
Put that up against the house. Perfect. Now I'll hold it. You want to get another piece and then mark our corner. now we're ready to start the roof shingles. So this manufacturer makes a starter shingle. Now we can start with the first shingle at full length.
Good?
Hi.
Hi.
You must be Judy.
Hi, it's nice to meet you. Yes.
Kevin.
Welcome to Studio J.
Oh, thank you. So I hear that you are the one making the design that Asha drew.
Correct. Yep, we met with Asha and her mom, and she gave me her design.
Very good. But before we get into that, tell me about Studio J.
Sure.
This is a fascinating
Studio J.
place.
We're a stained glass studio. We've been in business for 45 years. My husband and I started it.
Wow.
Our children work here, but really the people who do our stained glass are not our children, but they've been here for almost 30 years and for 22. Yeah.
Practically family.
Yes.
Okay. So what do you think of the design? Is this typically how it works, where someone actually draws it out for you? Or
Oh, never that lucky.
is this your guys' rendition of it, sort of
Correct.
on the,
Yeah.
guess,
I had to
computer?
show her how it could really be rendered in glass, because large pieces like she shows can't really be done without concern for breakage.
Right.
So,
So a little bit of support along some side like
Correct,
there.
yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
after that, then they came and we discussed the type of glass she might like.
Right. Did they decide on the type of glass that we're going to be working with?
Absolutely. They decided to stay with different textures of clear. Luckily, we have about 80 textures of clear that you can choose from.
So instead of the colors separating sections or pieces, the texture will do that.
Correct, yeah.
Very nice. Yeah, well, I mean, if you've got samples of these, but they're closer to the layout downstairs, I'd love to see that.
Absolutely. We'll take you down and show you.
Lead the way.
Alrighty, we're going to go this way to the dungeon. So this is the dungeon. This is where we construct all the stained glass windows. We have almost all the glass cut for you over here on the side.
Wow, that is
Right.
spectacular.
Yeah, these are all of the different textures that they chose.
So what is this texture, for example? What do you
This
call
is
this?
Ripple,
Ripple.
made by the Wismac Glass Company in West Virginia.
And so obviously there's just a basic clear next to it? Or?
Actually, no, this is actually called water glass. If you
Oh,
can look,
there's a
you'll see a slight
subtle
texture
little-
to it. Yeah. And all of the glass will have a different texture.
I was wondering what it was going to look like with no color, but the different textures is definitely distinctive. It creates such an amazing pattern. What meticulous work. How does
Yes.
this all get sort of done? And
This is all done by Greg, our craftsman.
Greg, nice to meet you.
Likewise.
You do know that they call it the dungeon, right?
Aimed at that.
Oh, you did? Yep. Okay, well, that's good. Judy says you've been with the outfit for a while.
94.
Wow. Over 20
Right
years.
out of high school.
That's terrific. Okay. Well, can you show us the process? We've been promised
Yeah.
that you're the cutter and
Yeah.
designer.
We're going to take this piece right here first.
A petal of the lotus flower. Awesome. Let's see what you do.
So, what we do is we're going to line up our grain which where we want it. We're going to take this larger piece, trim it down.
You have aligned the grain of the glass to match what you want for the petal.
Yeah, it has a slightly elongated pattern, so we want that to go along with the longer way of the shape.
Yeah. So this is just freehand, huh?
Yep. So now that we've made our scores on here, we have to break the glass away to refine the shape.
Okay.
We can use our grozing pliers and just glue a little down outwards force. You hear a little snap.
Look at that. That simple little score. No
That's our
way.
piece. Now, we got a little tiny burrs around the edge sometimes. We're going to clean up on our grinder. And come over here. Check for the fit.
I'm not going to be surprised if this is a perfect fit. And it is. You like that?
Yep.
Awesome. So one more petal to cut, and then everything is laid out and cut.
Yes, sir.
Where do you go from here?
After Greg constructs it with the lead and solders all the joints, we'll then use a cement to go between the lead and the glass to keep it tight and weatherproof.
Well, I won't get in the way of your guys' work anymore. I'll excuse myself. But how long until sort of the whole process is done and we're able to come back and pick it up?
Between the construction, the soldering, the cementing, and final drying, about 2 weeks.
Awesome. Well, Judy, thank you. I appreciate the
nice
tour and
meeting you.
everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Greg, terrific. I'll get out of here because it is a dungeon after all. Thank you all. Hey, fellas. So
Hey,
kitchen
Kevin.
windows, exterior trim time?
Yeah, we're actually going to use this cellular PVC to match some of the original historic details of it.
Is that nice and thick? Oh, that is. Is that 5/4?
That's a 5/4, 1 inch thick. Yeah, the nice thing about this stuff is nothing bothers it. I mean, it's not gonna rot. It's gonna hold paint pretty well. It's just gonna last forever.
So it looks like all the flashing is done.
Yeah, we're actually ready for that sill right there that's on the saw. So if you want to pass it to us, we can mark our positioning.
Zach, I'll hand that to you.
Thank you.
Pops, you got that side.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, you good there? I could probably do like that.
Good.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna mark the length here. Inside our window.
I got this one here.
All right. I'm going to measure the interior of the window jamb, which is 54 3/4. I'm going to add a 1/4 reveal on the bottom and an 1/8 reveal on the top, which will give me 55 1/8 overall for our casing legs.
Yeah. All right, we have the sill cut to length. Now we can use that as a template to mark the head piece. Now we'll mark for the positioning of the mold casing right here.
Now, if Kevin, you can cut these two to our leg length, and Tommy, can you rip these down to the mullion width in the center? I'll
Yep.
start on the pocket holes.
Sounds good.
Okay, 2 at 55 1/8. So screws and glue. So each one of those screw holes will be filled with a plug. And then eventually everything will be peeled back. And we'll have a nice finished look like that before paint.
Beautiful.
All right, what we got coming up next week?
Jen will be working on that brick walk out front.
All right, well, until then, I'm Kevin O'Connor
I'm Zach Detmore.
And I'm Tom Silva.
for this old house here in Glen Ridge. Tommy, I got a plug for you.
Oh, thanks.
Next time on This Old House, we are going to show you a blown-in insulation that we have never used or seen before.
Wood fiber insulation, and it's exactly what it sounds like.
Okay.
You pre-build the stairway, take them on site, and you have a crew that installs them?
Correct.
Wow, that's a lot of work.
Today, the brick walkway's going down, and it's all in the family.
It sounds like a TV show.
It is a TV show, Mom.
That's next time.